we were basically told during the primary, hey, yeah, Bloomberg, stop and frisk, maybe that wasn't so nice. There were things coming out about his treatment of women, the culture at Bloomberg with women, the fact that he allegedly told a woman a worker of his who was pregnant, get rid of it. Obviously, if you live in New York City, I don't need to explain it. Michael Bloomberg was all about creating a new Gilded Age of a tale of two cities, pushing gentrification, tax cuts for the already wealthy, all of that. But because of this new Trump derangement syndrome we have in the Democratic Party, we were told, yeah, Michael Bloomberg, come on down. And it just so happens after Michael Bloomberg gave $18 million to the Democratic National Committee, the Democratic National Committee suspended all its rules for debating that kept people like Tulsi Gabbard off the debate stage, that kept Andrew Yang off the debate stage later on. They just suspended their rules for Michael Bloomberg after he gave $18 million to the DNC. No correlation, obviously. But interestingly, obviously Bloomberg was a disaster in that first debate. I guess he just arrogantly thought he could wing it. And he faded pretty quickly. I think he was only in 2 debates. Super Tuesday, I think he won Samoa, American Samoa, I think he won. So he spent, I believe, $800 to $900 million overall to win American Samoa. That's all he won. But the Democratic Party, nonetheless, embraced Michael Bloomberg. Again, if there was no such thing as Donald Trump, and there was not this, extreme makeover thing going on with the Democratic Party, and when I say that, I mean, Bill Kristol, come on down. Your warmongering crimes are forgiven. David Frum, we love you. Nicole Wallace, who brought us Sarah Palin, was communications director for George W. Bush, pushing his, war in Iraq. We love you. Nicole Wallace is the new darling of the left. She has a show on MSNBC. This week, Joe Biden, I tweeted it out. It got some traction. Rick Snyder, the poisoner of Flint, endorsed Joe Biden. They're slobbering over Rick Snyder. Joe Biden's campaign sent it out as an email to the press. They were embracing it. Don Lemon was almost slobbering over Rick Snyder.
Before I'm a partisan political person or belonging to a party. And I think too many people have forgotten that.
Former Michigan Governor Rick Snyder appeared on CNN Tonight with Don Lemon Thursday, just hours after posting an op-ed endorsing Joe Biden despite being a lifelong Republican.
I believe in civility. I believe that success happens in this nation when we all work together for the common good. And I believe Joe Biden can deliver on that.
While Snyder has always supported the GOP in the past, he believes President Trump's divisiveness is tearing the country apart.
I talked to young people, I talked to my kids, they all encouraged me to speak up because they said your voice can make a difference. So I'm doing what I got some good advice from some young people on this one.
I don't know what to say to you.
Lemon was so taken aback by Snyder's candid interview that it took him a moment to gather his thoughts.
I'm just so grateful to hear someone speak with sense. It doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or a Republican, but it helps that you are a supporter and that you're in the president's party.
Yeah, because, Rick Snyder, who presided over a massive cover-up that not only did he recklessly allow the city of Flint to switch to the Flint River, despite, as Jen and I broke a few months ago, a major story we broke with Vice, that he was warned about the Flint River being a health hazard to residents before he allowed it to switch. Not only that, but he presided over a massive cover-up to prevent news of a deadly bacteria, Legionella. He'd found out about it in October 2014, 6 months after the water switch, buried it so that he could get reelected as governor. That's who I want to hear about civility from. This is the problem with corporate media whose anchor men and women are out of touch millionaires like Don Lemon. Yeah, go ask the people of Flint how civil and patriotic Rick Snyder is. Disgusting. But, so, the Democratic Party, all in this Trump derangement, has rehabilitated Colin Powell. He spoke at the Democratic Convention. John Kasich, who, bashed labor unions, tried to shut down every Planned Parenthood in Ohio. I mean, you're a terrible Republican. And Michael Bloomberg spoke at the Democratic Party convention. But I've been told, and progressives have been told, Jordan, this isn't the time for purity. We have a fascist in the White House, and we have to embrace even some really, really, untoward sewer rats like Rick Snyder, Michael Bloomberg, Colin Powell. We got to take support wherever we can get it to get rid of Donald Trump. And even if you don't morally agree with that, that's the strategy that will work, apparently. This is what Joe Biden's campaign is banking on, because they've basically told progressives, go take a hike. They chose Kamala Harris, which I don't know any actual progressive that choosing Kamala Harris as vice president, swayed them. They, won't budge on any policy. We're told that this is the strategy that works because we need to, when I say we, I'm talking the Democratic Party thinks there's enough, quote, moderate Republicans in the country that are so disgusted and are so aghast at Donald Trump and his behavior as president that they'll switch over. Because, they didn't have enough information in 2016. These people that voted for Trump. Him on tape bragging about assaulting women. That wasn't enough to get them over to Hillary Clinton at the time. Him, calling John McCain a loser or whatever for getting captured. They didn't have enough information in 2016 about who this man is. Him, calling for the banning of Muslims. Him calling Mexican immigrants rapists and criminals. They just didn't know enough about him then. And now, since they've seen the full buffet of Trump's vileness, we could get them over. And as a result, we've been told, bite your tongue, hold your nose. Yeah, we don't like Bloomberg, but come on in, we need his money. Bloomberg promised that even if he wins, even if he lost and did not become the Democratic nominee, he was going to spend unprecedented amounts of money to elect whoever the Democratic nominee was. He also told his staff, many of whom left other campaigns to come work for him, that win or lose, he was going to pay their salary and health care through the November election. And that lasted about 5 minutes after he dropped out. So he stiffed his campaign workers, who he promised he would pay their salary and health care. Would be kind of nice during a deadly pandemic when you could get sick, you could die, people are losing jobs. Wouldn't that be nice if he actually followed through on those promises? But he didn't. And the media never called him out on it, because that's just the price of capitalism, right? We live in the United Corporations of America, and Michael Bloomberg totally, abandoning his campaign workers that he promised to provide health care and salary is not a story in this media system we have. But I saw today, Joe Biden and his campaign have been twisting themselves into human pretzels to cater towards Michael Bloomberg and these others. Well, looks like Michael Bloomberg has left Joe Biden standing at the political altar. Color me shocked. From the New York Times, with those dynamics in mind, at least 2 pro-Biden groups have approached Michael Bloomberg, the billionaire former presidential candidate, about the possibility of funding an enormous blitz against Trump in Florida, arguing that delivering the state's 29 electoral votes to Biden would effectively end the election. Trump's weakness with older voters has made him acutely vulnerable in a state where affluent retirees have been a cornerstone of the Republican coalition. But aides to Mr. Bloomberg have so far demurred, explaining that the former New York City mayor has not approved any plans for spending money in the presidential race, people involved in the conversation said. Wait a minute. Michael Bloomberg's aides have said he has not approved any plans for spending money in the presidential race. So, Michael Bloomberg, who instituted a mass, racist, ineffective stop and frisk policy in New York City that terrorized black and brown people, and undocumented people, by the way, for over a decade. Your card-carrying Republican, I think he was an independent technically, but tax cuts for the rich, tax cuts for corporations, let the subway go to hell in a handbasket here in New York, gentrification run amok. We, progressives, have been fed this is the type of guy or gal that we should be catering to. This is who will get Trump out of office. We need to cater to Michael Bloomberg and Colin Powell and John Kasich and Nicole Wallace and Meg Whitman and Bill Kristol and Steve Schmidt. I could go down the list. I'm getting nauseous. Because there's moderate Republicans. They're just falling out of love with Trump. Well, breaking news alert. Republicans don't vote based on moral fiber. I don't know if Joe Biden's campaign knows that. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.